Donnie Ecker joining us here. Donnie, how are you? It's Chris Townsend with the Oakland A's. Good to see you again.
Chris, how are you? I'm well.
Last time I saw you was at the Santa Clara banquet.
That's it, man. We had good seats. It's nice to be close to you.
Yeah, that was really special for you, family, and everything to come back home and be honored. What did that mean to you? You know, obviously you're just with the Giants, but what did it mean to be honored back in essentially back home?
I guess it's in simplest terms, it's things come full circle, and it's really what it's all about is the community that had a part in teaching me everything that I know, and really the community made me. So less about personally being recognized, and I think more about circling back, and then there's a responsibility now where it's to pass it on to the next generation, and part of this is making them proud, and hopefully building a career and creating value for other people that makes the community proud of me as well.
I'll say this. I know that I've never met you personally, but I've met a lot of Rivercat players that knew you and that talked about you, and they raved about you, just your communication, the way you work with them. And so it's good to meet you. But with this particular team, you look at with Josh Young and some of these younger players, they seem to be kind of all working together and kind of getting better at the same time. And that's been just my impression of this club is that they're all starting to come into their own at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's the goal. And there's kind of this misunderstanding that when you get to the big leagues, you've arrived, where we want to just focus on continuous player development. So, our freshmen or our rookie quarterbacks that are rookies now are doing different things at the line of scrimmage than Marcus Semien. So it's just about taking players through their journey. But let's also set a standard where we are continuously, pushing the boundaries on developing these guys. So there's no sitting back here and just, see ball, hit ball.
Right. We got to the big leagues. We're fine. Right.
Yeah. It's time to get better. And I think that starts with our whole organization, just that mindset from Chris Young. So we identify those types of people and we set up those types of systems and we do what we do.
It's great.
When I think about your job title, I mean, we understand bench coach, we understand hitting coach. Take us through, because we all love football. And we know what the offensive coordinator does in the National Football League, designs all the plays, and what are we going to run? What is an offensive coordinator like? When that title came to you, what is offensive coordinator?
It's really if you think of like a 30,000 square foot view, coordinate the entire system. So what we do from the Dominican through A-ball to AA, AAA, all up to the big league. So it's really creating a system. And, the biggest part of the coordinator side, I think, is the behaviors that we attach to that system. So what it looks like to lead a meeting in the Dominican, what it looks like to build feedback loops for these players to stay on a nice roadmap to Arlington. So a healthy amount of organization, and then, building leaders in our hitting department that can run their units and kind of take guys through their journey. So it's less about figuring out if we're going to run the slant or the vertical against, man-to-man or as cover two, but more about thinking about this thing almost in a business sense. How do we set up a really healthy system to take guys through their journey and get them ready for the big leagues?
Well, yeah, your goal line offense this year, I mean, you guys in the red zone are incredible. No, but I think it's really interesting because what you're doing is it's the same message. It's like you're creating – we talked about it for years with the Dodger way or the Oriole way. It's like you guys are creating your own Ranger way. So whether you're an A-ball or you said the Dominican or A-ball or AA, coming up the message, what you guys want. Talk about how important that just true structure throughout the organization is, that everybody's on the same page.
I mean, you said it perfectly. And it starts above us, right? It's it's Chris Young's leadership. It's not an option here. So we are going to be aligned, and we're going to have unity. So when you thin slice that to the offensive group, we're just executing on the leadership above us. So alignment and unity in our offensive system is no different than anything else we do here. But to your point, it's not even key. It's just there is no other option. So, and that those first principles for our personnel are based off of value creation. So if everything we're going to do is in the best interest of helping these players and the organization create value, then it really takes what it takes.
One more for you with I want to ask you about Bochy, because he, it took the perfect job for him. It's going to take the perfect job for me to come back, right? And talk to Chris Young, and here's a masterful, just every single move he makes, his baseball intelligence is off the charts. What have you seen from Bochy? And I know he's created that calm in the clubhouse. Nobody better at managing a bullpen. Kotze knows him so well. But if you could just kind of talk about Bochy a little bit and his presence and what he means to this team.
Yeah, it's I'm not an emotional person, but when people ask me questions about him, I do get a little emotional. Just to think of me being in my mid-30s, if I have a selfish moment here, it's how lucky am I to just work with him and watch him. Yeah. So the resume, the person, it's off the charts. And so when you get in the trenches with him day to day, there's an ultra competitor in there. I mean, do not get it twisted for the stoicism that he shows. This guy is, he's not just sitting back. So he wants to win. He wants to win every pitch. He wants to know the game plans. He's totally invested. But I, personally, I went out and just bought a notebook. It's just a Bochy notebook. So everything he says and does, I try to document it.
That's awesome.
We're all just very lucky. We're lucky that he wanted to get back in the game. We're fortunate once again that, Chris Young, I think it's means a lot to Bochy to have somebody that's been through the fire and can see this thing through a player's lens. Yeah, Bochy, he lowers anxiety just naturally. And if you think of one of to me, one of the biggest influences of playing consistent offense is how people behave around you. So Bochy isn't freaking out when somebody strikes out. He's not throwing a table. He's just very calm and very consistent. And then, you see the players mimic that.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate that. That was great. All right. Listen,
Donnie, thanks a lot. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Thanks.
Good seeing you.
Appreciate it.
Likewise.